Hello and thanks for joining us for THV 11 News at noon on this Thursday. I'm Jurnee Taylor and here are the stories we're following right now. Coming up, state police seized a record-breaking amount of illegal cigarettes. Now officials think this could lead to a bigger threat to national security. Plus, Ohio Congressman Jim Jordan loses his second bid for House Speaker. His path forward now in doubt. In 5 minutes, more on what to expect in a third floor vote today. And President Biden will make a primetime address and is expected to ask Congress for aid for Israel. Israel says it has new information showing it did not strike a hospital in Gaza. More on those headlines, but first we have a look at weather. Look who's joining us now at the noon show.
It's been a while.
How we have missed his face at noon. Meteorologist Nathan Scott, how you doing?
Oh, it's good to be here, Jurnee. It's been a long day, of course, because I've been doing the morning show, but it's great to be working with you once again. And when you were sleeping last night, we had a little bit of rain that made its way through. Now, it was almost like somebody just turned on the sprinkler for about 5 seconds and then stopped because most locations just saw a trace measurable rainfall. The clouds moved out, the rain has moved out, and we are seeing lots of sunshine out there, and the temperatures are warming up in a hurry. It's 77 right now in Little Rock, 77 in Pine Bluff, 75 in Hot Springs, 77 in Clinton. We got that wind from the southwest, about 10 to 15 miles per hour, and that's going to help the numbers warm up into the 80s for everybody across Arkansas. But guess what? We're going to see warmer temperatures for Friday and even warmer temperatures on Saturday. Could we hit 90 degrees? I'll have more on that potential coming up.
All right, new at noon, North Little Rock police have made an arrest in a shooting over the weekend. 15-year-old Hezekiah Muller of Conway is being charged as an adult in connection to a shooting that happened on North Walnut Road Sunday night. The victim was taken to the hospital where he remains in critical condition. Muller faces several charges, including attempt to commit capital murder. Little Rock police are now looking for 4 suspects in connection to a homicide this past Saturday. The 4 men on your screen are all allegedly connected to the shooting of a teenager found dead in a car. Another person was also taken to the hospital with gunshot wounds. Officers responded to shots fired on a Washington Street, but they found a car with 2 victims inside in front of the 12th Street Police Station. If you see any of them or have info, you're asked to call police. And we're learning new details in a police chase that ended with a deadly crash yesterday. Here's what we know right now. Pine Bluff police noticed a car swerving on I-530 Wednesday morning. Police tell us an officer followed the car, saw the driver, who was described as elderly, and thought they could be having medical issues. According to the report, the officer turned his lights on and sirens on to warn other drivers. The officer says the driver eventually veered off the road and hit a tree, which led to their death. No one else was hurt in the incident. President Biden is planning a primetime address tonight from the Oval Office following his trip to Israel. The White House says the speech will address the U.S. response to the conflict in Israel and Gaza. Natalie Brand reports more on this.
Palestinians dug through the rubble of a building Thursday as Israel continued its bombing campaign in Gaza, targeting the terror group Hamas. This man says there's nowhere safe in Gaza. You have to be ready to die. Outrage over the war, and specifically Tuesday's deadly explosion at a Gaza City hospital, is growing.
Palestine, we are with you to the death.
Despite denials of responsibility from Israel and even President Biden, who visited Israel Wednesday.
It appears the result of an errant rocket fired by a terrorist group in Gaza.
Israel says aerial images of the aftermath do not show a crater, which would be expected after an airstrike. It also released what it says is an intercepted conversation between 2 Hamas operatives. It's from us, asks one. It looks like it, replies the other. Israel has raised the total number of confirmed hostages to 203, among them American Omer Nutra. The grandson of Holocaust survivors was serving with Israel's defense forces when Hamas launched its attack.
Tears come at night. And I've been showering so much because I cry in the shower, just let it out. And then I come out and I have to refocus again.
And as the fighting overseas continues, a new bulletin obtained by CBS News from the FBI, Homeland Security, and others is warning of new potential threats against Americans and confirms an increase in threats to the Jewish, Muslim, and Arab communities. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
Well, President Biden has persuaded the Israeli government to allow limited amounts of humanitarian aid in Gaza, allowing up to 20 trucks of goods to cross through the border of Egypt by tomorrow. Well, the president's request for more aid will go nowhere on Capitol Hill, though, until House Republicans can agree on a new Speaker of the House. Members preparing to take another vote later today. Congressman Jim Jordan fell short of the 217 House votes needed to be elected as Speaker. He initially had 4 GOP lawmakers backing him, but they switched their votes against him on Wednesday. Now, members from both sides want to appoint Patrick McHenry as Speaker pro tempore to resume legislative business.
There is not consensus, clearly, on who the next speaker should be. And so in the immediate, we need to get back to work. We need to allow Patrick McHenry to do the job as Speaker pro tem with the authority to govern.
Jordan could potentially lose more votes, as some lawmakers say they may switch their votes. Well, police in Little Rock are hoping to get the word out about a scam targeting vulnerable pet owners. Police tell us someone claiming to be with the Animal Village is calling people with missing pets, hoping to get money out of them. We spoke to the Animal Village about some of the heartbreaking calls they received.
So he came to the Animal Village and said that he paid $1,500 to receive his cat back. And so at that time period, we informed him that we did not have his animal and that we would not ask him to pay us $1,500 over the phone, which he had did by Cash App.
Well, this has happened to at least 3 people, according to Kevin Howard on the city board. Beware, if you have posted anything about a lost pet on social media, you could be targeted. Do not send anyone money online that you do not know personally. Well, we hear all the time about big drug busts on busy highways in Arkansas, but a van full of illegal cigarettes worth $300,000 is drawing much more attention from state law enforcement. Now, looking past the side effects, tobacco control agents are worried about another potential danger: terrorism. THV 11 Sarah Hobakowitz sat down with those agents to hear why.
Initially, it looked like he had some household items, but then he discovered that with it there were what turned out to be 32,000 packs of cigarettes.
On Thursday, state police say they pulled over a van in a regular traffic stop, later finding $311,000 worth of illegal, untaxed cigarettes. Scott Hardin with the state's tobacco control unit says that's when they were called in.
You look at it and you say, oh, that's just someone with cigarettes, so they weren't stamped. Big deal. Well, it is. It potentially could be a very big deal.
Tax boxes get this sticker. If there isn't one, the cigarettes aren't regulated, and the illegal sale could impact the state's economy.
If someone comes in and undercuts that, the state's out tens of thousands of dollars in this case. Anytime you have an illegal product that is, with this, probably driven by cash.
Leaving authorities to investigate where the cartons came from and what they were intended for. Arkansas State Police saying in a statement, in part, quote, contraband cigarettes are one of the leading sources of funding for terrorism in the United States.
We've seen cases in the past, this has been several years ago, where illegal tobacco products were used to send money overseas to groups that didn't have the best interest of America in mind.
Hardin says that officials believe the driver was headed across the country, and the van is now in custody as they investigate further.
So you have these different scenarios that it could be, and that's where we're going to get to the bottom of this and learn, who is this gentleman and what was he doing.
Well, Hardin said there is no reason for Arkansans to be concerned as long as they are buying taxed cigarettes from a permitted retailer. Police say the driver, who is from Texas, faces charges on possession of untaxed tobacco and unauthorized use of another person's property to facilitate certain crimes. Well, spooky season is in full swing. Now, a Little Rock man known for his over-the-top Halloween decorations is speaking out after a thief targeted his display. Otis Schiller likes to be called the Halloween King at Markham and Sun Valley. Every year, he works to have his yard decked out in spooky spirit, but this year, someone is trying to carve into his fun.
Just the other morning at 6:09 a.m., just parked his car, walked up, grabbed her, and put her back in the car. It puts a sad note in my heart because I worked so hard and try to make everybody enjoy the display.
Definitely not nice. Well, neighbors called the police for Schiller. We also checked with LRPD for the latest information, and they say they are looking into it for us. Well, coming up, Social Security payments are going up, but is it enough for those considering retirement? More with tips that you can use when we come back.
And RV 11 shows nothing but beautiful blue October sky out there. The sun is really heating things up very quickly. We need rain. I'll let you know when our next chance of rain arrives in the forecast and also the latest drought monitor that came out today.